Hi everyone, Missy Stegers, broker owner of M. Stegers Realty Partners and team leader of the Missy Stegers team, bringing an update for all you agents in reference to some of the contract changes. If you hadn't seen your latest SABOR announcement or TAR announcement or TR, or NAR announcement, there are updates and revisions that you definitely need to be aware of. I'm going to cover the main ones today that affect us and then provide a link at the end of the video so that you can go look these up yourself. They had red line versions available. So one of the most important ones is going to be the Residential Buyer Tenant Agreement. And I wanted to cover what changes that they've made on that. The first one is in paragraph 13 under default. They added, broker may also terminate this agreement and exercise any other remedy by law. Actually a very good addition. And then on paragraph 7, they added, broker is not authorized to execute any document in the name of or on behalf of the client concerning the property. That's actually really important. I hope all of you have never done that. It's not a good idea. The liability is too great. And before you would ever do that, I hope you checked with your broker. Also, they put that broker is not underneath 18 additional notices that we, not only are we not a property inspector, a surveyor, an engineer, and so forth, we are not a pest inspector. So don't know why that one got added, but I'm sure there's a reason, and someone out there thought we were one at some point, so that is why it got added. That's the main changes to that buyer-tenant representation agreement. The next one I'm going to go over, which is important to note, is the seller's disclosure notice. And for all of you out there that are having sellers fill out the disclosure notice, make sure it's the new one dated 8/22, and that you are receiving for any future contracts an updated disclosure that is 8/22 as well. I know for my office it means we have to go back and get disclosures updated in reference to that. So what were the changes that have been made to the seller's disclosure notice? Not a lot of just changing where it said under section 5, yes, see attached, TXR 1414 form under floods. They removed all of those see attached and then just put one big red statement that says, if buyer is concerned about these matters, buyer may consult information about flood hazards on TXR form 1414. So that's the change on that page. And then one of the other ones besides renumbering is, which is interesting, they have removed the survey question completely. So no longer on the seller's disclosure notice will there be the question, do you have or do you not have a survey attached to the disclosure? Another big change, now this one was completely redone, is the buyer's walkthrough confirmation and acceptance form. So what are those changes? Well, we still have underneath inspections, whether they had done one or not, but now we have re-inspections. Did they get a re-inspection after completion of repairs or not? Did they get a residential service contract or not? And before the closing walkthrough, as before, it did state, have you walked through it or have you not walked through it? That's still there. But then they've added a sight unseen paragraph that says buyer has visited and reviewed the property in person. Buyer chooses not to visit or review the property in person and is purchasing the property sight unseen. Everything else on there remains the same, but a lot of additions. So make sure you check it out and make sure you get it filled out all the way completely. And then we also had some changes to the residential real estate listing agreement, exclusive right to sell, that you need to know about. Not a whole lot, but a few things that are good. They added underneath 12 seller representations, Rather, the seller is aware of the property being located in the following public improvement district. Now, I know we've all been educated on PIDs, but now it makes the seller check if they are aware of it. That was added. And then a nice part to the default paragraph 16 that says if seller does not cooperate with the broker to facilitate the showing and marketing or sale of the property, otherwise breaches this listing. It also added in some very important verbiage for us that says broker may also terminate this listing and exercise any other remedy by law. So a good add on the listing. And then they added, of course, to addenda and other documents, the PID disclosure notice. That's to be checked if they are in one. So just a couple of minor changes, but are good ones. In addition to that, we have some big changes, and I'm sure this comes down to some of the problems we've had with agents working outside of their area of expertise. But you will need to check out the next time you sign the Independent Contractor Agreement for the sales associate. There we have two major changes you need to be aware of, and that is they have added underneath paragraph 9, associate's authority, geographic area. Associate is authorized to operate only in the following geographic areas. So now we're putting it into writing. And then F, practice area. That's associate is authorized to practice only in the following practice areas. And that would be residential leasing, residential property management, commercial sales, commercial leasing, commercial property management, farm and ranch and sales, or others. So as a broker, I can tell you I'm extremely excited about this change. Some agents may not be, but overall, I think it makes things very clear for agent and broker on where you should be practicing, because we're liable for you being your broker. And also, Trek says you should not practice out of your area of expertise. And as far as your expertise goes, you really need to stay in your own lane. So that covers the most important changes that I needed you to be aware about and thought you might want to know about it. Again, we're going to include that link so that you can go check these out yourselves. There's a lot more changes that took place in this last meeting and in forms, but those are the primary ones that you deal with every day. Thanks for joining me. If we can ever be of assistance or help you, 210-305-5665.